First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next, live on the Post Wrestling YouTube. Isn't that right, Davie?
Yes, youtube.com/postwrestling.
That's right. I stole your line by accident.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
Yeah. Maybe you're listening to us on the Post Wrestling feed on whatever podcast app you are listening to. Hit that subscribe. Hello. It is Tuesday night. We're back on Tuesdays.
We're back together. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while since we've been on Tuesday.
3 weeks?
We were away last week. We did a Wednesday last week and a Wednesday the week before.
That's right. Yeah.
Tuesday nights are for NXT and Tuesday nights are for our NXT friends. And we are here to talk all about NXT and beyond here tonight. So welcome everyone in the YouTube chat or listening on your commute, your shower, your long walk on the beach, wherever
on the noisy gardener outside our apartment,
probably
wherever you are,
stuck in traffic.
We love you and thank you for joining in.
Yeah, welcome to the show. It is Tuesday night, and we got not a whole lot to talk about, to be honest.
No, to be honest,
sleepy
week. We'll get to some housekeeping in a sec, but I think the theme of this show today will be what the fuck did Andre Chase do?
Yes, we will get down to the nitty-gritty of what indeed did Andre Chase do.
Because for me, that was the only thing happening.
Compelling story on NXT.
Is
Andre Chase canceled?
Because I watched last week's show.
It might be canceled.
Yeah.
He could be canceled.
Huh.
He's possibly canceled on NXT, and that's the biggest story coming out of this week's show. It's definitely not Baron Corbin finally got gear, but that's up there as well. That we'll get into. But
he's had gear before. The thing is, he changes it every single week.
Yeah, not
he's like,
good
nope,
gear.
This one didn't work.
This was the first gear.
Sorry, you thought
we'll talk about it. I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah,
that's a cheap plug, which we could definitely do because we love cheap plugging here on Up Next. But yeah, we're going to talk about some NXT, some housekeeping off the bat. Search Poisonrana in your podcast app or on YouTube and hit that subscribe because Davie and I do a whole lot of other shows. We go live every Sunday, as we did on Sunday, and we chatted about some WWE, some AEW, some New Japan. We chat everything about everything in wrestling on Sundays, and
all the hot topics we're here to cover.
That's right. And this Sunday will be no different because we're going to be having a little chat about AEW Full Gear. So I think 3 p.m. on Sunday.
We'll confirm.
Yeah.
It's a long pay-per-view.
Yeah, so you're working Saturday night, so
yeah.
You're going to try to watch it before that. And like these shows go definitely like 4 hours or something. So we're going to be chatting all about Full Gear on the weekend on Sunday. So listen for that on the free feed. And yes, if you're free on Sunday, come hang out in the YouTube chat as we dissect a pay-per-view, which I think for the most part, everyone's a little less interested in this AEW pay-per-view as per usual. But as per usual, I think AEW will deliver. So
there's going to be some great stuff on there and always interesting to talk about. But yeah, AEW's in a strange period at the moment, I would say.
Yeah. So hopefully they deliver because they will. I am still looking forward to a bunch of these. I'm just really looking forward to the Golden Jets. So
okay, at least someone is.
Yeah, I think I might be the only one.
Yeah.
So we're going live on Sunday, but check out all the other stuff. Of course, Thursday, Shot in the Dark on the Poisonrana feed, where Siino fills you in on all the other wrestling in the world, including Ring of Honor, Women of Wrestling, Impact, and beyond. So in 15 minutes or less, he gives you the deets on everything going on in case you don't watch it, because there is a whole lot of wrestling to watch. Sometimes there's too much wrestling to consume, so you definitely have to pick and choose. But wrestling's still fun. So Siino watches it all.
We also just dropped on our free feed new episode of Eagles Don't Hunt Flies with Martin Bushby, Brandon from New Jersey, and Dickie Bird. It's their new show talking about the career of Jon Moxley. And this week's episode, they were talking about Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania 32.
Everyone's favorite WrestleMania match. Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. Yeah, definitely not one for the books, but I'm assuming it makes for a great chat. So listen to the lads chat all about this match as they dissect it. Bushby does a fantastic job of even putting in some clips from the Austin interview that Moxley did, talking about the match, and Dickie always pulling out the stops from Mox's book. I have an update though.
Oh yeah,
I have a scoop for these guys for their show. They keep referring to the Moxley book.
Yeah.
I have some breaking news for Jon Moxley. Someone has to tell him, and he's going to be heartbroken. The Horseshoe Tavern in Toronto no longer has the A&W window.
What?
I'm sorry.
Why?
Sorry.
What happened?
I don't know. I went to the Horseshoe last week, and I was like, wait, where's the...
Oh.
Wait. And if you have read Moxley's book, he does talk about
it. So there's a bar in Toronto, the Horseshoe Tavern. It's more of like a pub.
It's a famous music venue. A lot of famous bands have played there.
And it's got like the front of the venue, a real like pub feel to it, and doesn't serve food, but there's a window that connects the A&W,
it's like
the burger joint next door. And you can order through this like little window and get your...
And then eat it in the bar and listen to live music. But they have now shut this forbidden window. So, sorry, Jon Moxley. So don't come to Toronto now. He's going to be in his next book. Fuck Toronto.
I mean, maybe now he's not as interested in going to bars and pubs anyway.
Yeah.
I know he likes biking along our road.
Queensway.
Yeah, he mentions about that.
Yeah. So, sorry, I had to break that news for Jon Moxley. But, yes, listen to Eagles Don't Hunt Flies. And I'll be recording a Detox also with Jordan Goodman, chatting everything not wrestling. So would love your random questions over on the Facebook group. Post them in, because we love chatting about random silly stuff to just detox our lives.
Yeah, this show where Braden and Jordan just talk about anything apart from wrestling and answer your questions and get kind of real weird. So always a good chat as well.
Yes. So lots of free shows over on the Poisonrana Patreon. We have a whole crazy month of shows. We just did a review, an Up Yours pick. Shout out Farmer Brent, our World Champ family member on the Patreon, who picked Superbad, as Davie and I chat all about our favorite comedy from 2007, Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, and McLovin, everyone's favorite. And we definitely talk a little bit about some embarrassing high school stories, some underage drinking, things about all sorts of things. I know,
but both Braden and I related to this film quite a lot, even though we grew up in completely different continents. A lot of stories we related with these lads back in 2007. So I'm sure, all being wrestling fans, all kind of being similar kind of nerdy people trying to find our way in life at some point.
Exactly.
Will relate to this one as well.
So if you're a fan of Superbad, this review will definitely rekindle some love and some laughs for sure over on this review. We also did, what have we been reviewing? We did a What's Next the other week. This week, I mean, everyone keeps telling us TNA is hard to kill and that TNA is coming back so much that we thought it would be a fun time to go back and review a TNA pay-per-view. And you, our listeners on our Facebook group, we put up a poll and you guys chose TNA Turning Point 2005. So we are going to be reviewing this actually tomorrow. So look for that on our Patreon this week, where we're chatting. The show is up on their YouTube for
seen Jeff Jarrett versus Rhino for the NWA Championship.
This is the rematch.
And they have to write that wrong.
This is the rematch.
Oh, yeah?
In the feud. Yeah. Rhino I'm pretty sure Rhino beat him at another pay-per-view, and this is Jeff Jarrett got the title back somehow.
So this was some hot shit going on then, Rhino and Jarrett.
Yeah. Equally, I'd say a little hotter was Samoa Joe in 2005, made his way over to TNA and definitely made like a name for himself in a bigger audience from not just his ROH kind of exposure there. And the match with AJ Styles is on this pay-per-view, which is absolutely awesome for the X Division title. So it's
also Christian's debut.
Christian's in-ring debut against Monty Brown, one of my all-time favorites.
TNA in-ring debut. He beat around a little bit.
Yeah, a few years. So then there's AMV versus Dudley Boys. Sorry, Team 3D. We're gonna chat about the James Gang.
The James Gang.
Oh man, I'm so excited to talk about Matt Bentley with you. Sugar Shane Helms.
Yeah, TNA is definitely a bit of a blind spot for me. Like I've caught up on some of it over the years.
No, wait, not Shane Helms, the other guy, Shane some. Anyways, it's gonna be great to talk about some TNA. So anyone who was a TNA fan in 2005, this review is definitely gonna be for you. And maybe you weren't, but it will inspire you to watch it and then listen to us chat about it. So
also in just 10 days from now, it'll be the Survivor Series watch party at Gabby's in downtown Toronto. If you are in the Toronto GTA area, we would love to see you at this event. Come along. We're going to have Survivor Series on all the TVs with sound on. We've got a giant screen as well. Even if you want to get some air outside, we've got it on outside as well in our heated patio. Come along. Poisonrana.ca for tickets. Right now, we've got tickets for only $5. There's only a few left at that price. Get them while you can and come and hang out on Saturday, 25th.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Survivor Series with the War Games being added this year, Cody and his boys, possibly CM Punk, possibly Randy Orton. Someone's coming back, and it'll make for some fun. And what better way to watch it with a bunch of people and getting a little litty and some drink specials and some games as we always do. We know how to throw a party, and if you're in the Toronto area, definitely come out and check us out at Gabby's King West because we love having these watch parties. It's such a cool way to hang out with like the Toronto wrestling fans. And I know like I started going to things like this because sometimes you don't have friends who want to watch wrestling on a Saturday night. They'd rather watch real sports or go out or do stuff where it's like, hey, if you got nothing else to do, definitely come by and bring your friends because we all like to get a little silly and watch the wrestling. So definitely looking forward to this one. And I mean, we're definitely plotting for you're not going to the Rumble anymore.
I don't think so. No.
So we're probably going to have to do another watch party for the Rumble down the line too. So lots and lots of fun in the city if you are in the Toronto area.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah. I was pretty annoyed today because I watched Raw last night.
That's why you were annoyed?
No, it was all right. It was okay. Had nothing else to do, so just cooked and watched Raw and just chilled out. And then went to sleep pretty early for me.
Okay.
You know, like we're both kind of night owls, and I had a good night, like early night, and was like, yes, I feel sleepy. Gonna go to bed. I got work today. Got a big episode of NXT to review in the evening.
Huge episode.
And then I woke up at 3:30 and couldn't get back to sleep. And I've been feeling kind of rotten ever since.
But you're here still.
I'm here. I'm ready to talk about the Andre Chase scandal. I'm ready.
I'll tell you something that happened to me yesterday is possible identity fraud / scamming my bank account. Is something that happened. I saw that wrestler Speedball Mike Bailey says he got some charge to his. He tweeted today saying he got a charge to his credit card for like over $1,000 on like seltzers or something. I can tell you that wasn't us for the record.
He then said his favorite are Perrier and Topo Chico.
Topo Chico is fantastic.
Like, oh, I like White Claw.
Yeah, Topo Chico doesn't have alcohol in them. I mean, some of them do, but yeah. Yesterday, basically got a call from the number of my bank saying like, hey, are you using your debit card in Orlando? Because we were blocking some charges. There's some pretty big charges. I'm like, absolutely not. Definitely. And it turns out, no, this person was a complete scammer and basically was not, but had information about me and had the same number calling me from my bank. But then like a little while into this phone call, I'm like, something about this is like a little too suspicious. So I
probably doesn't in shows you go, oh yeah, John Moxley always rides his bike down our road, Queen's Key.
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's probably
they probably are just a listener trying to scam you.
Well, if you are, you didn't get anything from me, so go walk off a bridge somewhere. But yeah,
that's scary. Like,
I'm not super pissed because like nothing happened. I was smart enough to realize that this doesn't happen. I'm actually even more upset at last week. My mom texted me.
Right.
She's like, "Hey, I got a weird text from a strange number saying, 'Hey mom, my phone fell in the water. Can you
send me £1 million?
Can you send me some money so I can buy a new phone right now? And then I'll call you.'" And my mom texted me like, "Hey, did you send this message? Everything okay?" And like basically copied the message. Yeah. And she went, "You've never texted 'Hey mom' to me." And I right away knew that wasn't you, because I'll go, "Hey mama," "Oh hey mother," or I'm being silly all the time. I never go, "Oh hey mom." It's just something I never do. And right away my mom like understood that, wait a second, that's kind of fishy. So then the text me went, "This is a scam, right?" And I went, "Yeah, but in the future, like it's good." And I think anyone family members and stuff, you should have like some sort of secret code message that like right away go, "Oh yeah, well."
I've seen it go around. It often targets like grandparents a lot of the time. Yeah. And my grandma's on WhatsApp, and like she kind of vaguely knows how to use it, and I'll send her photos and things. And I've seen those scams go around about, "Oh, I'm stuck somewhere. Can you send me some money or whatever?" And I've always said like, "Hey, like if I ask this, like check, like call my mom or call me or something."
Yeah.
Because you know, like these people are like looking for the vulnerable. To try and take advantage of.
Absolutely, definitely, like older people, grandparents and stuff, like they're gonna fall victim to. They're gonna believe. They're
like
gonna be more
I see it on like the dating apps and that kind of thing, right? Okay. You have the bots or whatever they are, and you learn pretty quickly, like if you know, like if they're sending you their Snapchat like right away, it's like, oh, this ain't legit.
Yeah.
But like dating, that's something like people feel lonely, they don't get much attention, and then suddenly some hot chick is like, "Hey, Tony, I want to talk to you and send me your money and we'll go on a date." And it's, you saw it in wrestling. What, that guy took out Seth Rollins because he got scammed out of money.
Right. He thought someone had done it.
It's like these people look for like vulnerable people and like susceptible people and stuff. And
the thing was, like, I think it must have been something from like a former card, maybe lost in the mail, and they had my old address. They had some information about me. And again, my phone showed the same number. So that's what's like really freaky. So they're definitely upping their technology of all this weird scamming stuff. So
you said they told you to download an app, and
that's when like, they're like, okay, can you like verify? They verified to me information again before that's how I believed it was my bank. It sounds exactly legit. And then they started saying stuff like, they started asking other questions, which I was like, not answering everything. But then they're like, okay, so like, we see that someone in Orlando is purchasing a lot of gift cards and stuff. We're trying to block your account. So can you, you gotta like move money from your account. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not doing that. And then they're like, okay, well, we can do it for you. Our security, if you download this app on your iPhone. I'm like, no, I'm not downloading anything. And then,
do you remember what the app was?
It's like some like, it gives them access, I'm assuming, into my like phone or something. I'm not sure.
Because there's that thing on the, like I've had on my computer where you get like, not scammers, but you allow remote access for someone to try and fix.
Oh, okay.
So it might be that kind of thing.
Yeah, possibly that, to then like go into something, right? Obviously. But right away I was like, definitely like red flags were going off, but I was like, and then I'm like, I'm shutting this all down. And then just called my bank right away. It was like, hey, can you just cut my account off? Just block it. I'll go in the morning and get a new card.
Do you think this is how Andre Chase has been funding Chase U on his NXT developmental contract all these years? He's been scanning people and it finally got out. You rumbled him.
Yeah, possibly.
You rumbled Professor Chase.
These fucking people were probably trying to scam me, and then they're like, wait, what's this guy on his bank account? Oh, he's a wrestling podcaster? Never mind. Let's leave him alone. That's probably what happened. No, I stopped him before it was too late, but it can happen to you. And it can happen to anyone. Even the teller at the bank today was like, hey man, for the record, I work at a bank and like they almost got me about a year ago. So don't worry. I'm like, damn, these people are relentless out there. So be careful out there, people. Safety is a priority. You gotta be safe online.
If in doubt, hit us up. Be like, hey.
Definitely having like
scam hunters.
Yeah, I feel worse. I would feel worse if like it happened to like someone in my family because of something like, oh, help me, Braden's lost, or like I something stupid like that. I'd be furious.
My mum's friend had just retired and got scammed out of like tens of thousands of pounds.
Oh my god.
And it was to do with like tax and something, and they were like claiming that she hadn't done stuff the right way and that like police would be after her and all that sort of thing. And like she was saying, she knew it felt wrong, but she was also they were so persistent and like aggressive that she was like kind of scared into it. And and like luckily she got it all back, but
it's very scary.
She literally just retired and then like gave all her money away.
That's insane. And like once you there's times you won't get it back because it's basically you've fallen victim. You gave it to them.
You allowed them to do it.
Yeah, you did it, even though they sound convincing and stuff. Shout out Surin in the chat who's saying scammers can even do AI voices now.
Well, that's what's terrifying.
Imagine again, they wouldn't know secret things about you if you have some sort of code with your family. It'd be like, hey, if you ever hear my voice and it's not me, ask them.
There's like 1,000 minutes of us speaking now out there that someone wanted to.
Show's over. It's not doing it anymore.
My parents are poor.
Yeah, my mom would never fall victim to that stuff, but so far she's not, so that's good. But like my mom's not a senior, but I'm worried about like people's grandparents. It's just so terrible. But these guys don't give a fuck, but
especially this close to Christmas.
It's inflation, man.
Yeah,
they're like, damn, we gotta pay for groceries, gotta scam people. But scammers, you idiots, bad people, meanies,
yeah,
you suck, and you're gonna be living alone.
Should we talk about something else that sucked?
What's that?
This episode of NXT.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
It really did suck.
NXT November 14th, 2023, live from the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. And we open with a video in black and white of Chase U and the so-called scandal surrounding Professor Andre Chase.
The fraud scam.
He's like making his way to the performance center as journalists are all after him, and he says he has nothing to comment on the matter. What matter? We don't know.
Yeah, this will be something that goes throughout the bit of the first little bit of the show, and it's concerning. I mean, last week we were not told what was the photos, but things have definitely escalated within 1 week to now there's a scandal.
Can I just say we were just talking about how things have advanced. AI scams and all that. It's 2023. If there's a scandal out there, we know about it.
Yeah.
How is this so secretive?
It's a scandal that everyone knows except us, the viewers.
Yeah, which is impossible because
we're watching.
We know everything that's happening.
Yeah. Very strange storyline that everyone's wondering about this scandal. Oh my God, Mr. Chase, is it true? When
he's doing his best Vince McMahon impression and just not commenting.
Like, I know we always joke on the show that me and you, we're no journalists, but like, are we just really slipping on this story? We just are so we need the scoops on this one. Andrew Thompson, Post Wrestling. What the fuck did Andrew Chase do?
What did Andre Chase do?
What did Andre Chase do in this situation that is so bad? But yeah, here he comes.
I'm amazed with all the kind of cuts we've had. Like, I like Andre Chase. I think he's great, but he's this white guy called Andre in WWE and has somehow survived for a couple of years now.
Dude wrestles in a cardigan.
In a sweater, like something's going to come out. Like, how is
innocent until proven guilty, my friend. All right.
I like Mr. Chase. Anyway, we opening things off hot with the NXT Tag Championship. Andre Chase and Duke Hudson defending the titles against Tony D and Channing Stacks Lorenzo.
It made me laugh last week when they're like, hey, we're champs, and then like the blackmail is shown, like he has the photos.
Yeah.
And then like a few segments later, it's like, anyways, it's official. Next week is the title match. It's like, oh, okay, we're really going with the blackmail story with this.
So we're getting that Chase U section are kind of uninterested in Andre Chase. Whenever he's tagged in, you've got some of the members of the Chase universe walking out or like rummaging through their bags.
Yeah,
and just not paying attention.
They're very quiet. Usually they're like cheerleaders, right?
Yeah.
Like there's usually like 20 of these people in this section like chanting and have signs and stuff, but they're all quiet, very not interested. And then about halfway through the match, they get up and like leave. And again, the commentary with Vic Joseph pushing hard that it's like, oh man, like, yeah, can you blame like these people don't support him anymore? And then we're just watching home like, what the fuck did he do, man? Why these people? It's like you're using being canceled as a storyline without explaining to us what he did. So like the payoff has to be something hilarious, like he is dating JC Jane or something. Like kayfabe wise, has to be something so silly that's got to add up. It can't be like something so evil, or we just never find out. But the way they treated it is like this guy was fucking Bill Cosby here. Like people are so disgusted by
best friends with David Starr, you know?
Yeah, it's like this guy was like, you have to not support him anymore. It's like, okay, but like us, the viewer, we're like, but we like this guy. So it was confusing.
So he gets tagged into boos.
Yeah, his own Chase U, and then like the rest of the crowd start booing him.
Vic is saying this scandal is shaking NXT to the core.
To the core. To the core.
So Andre is taking out both Channing and Tony. There's an exploder suplex to Channing on top of D'Angelo, and then climbs up top. It's the high cross to Stacks, and then the family come back with a diving European uppercut German suplex combo, which looked kind of nice, which Hudson breaks up the pin with a shoulder block, and then Stacks goes for a pin attempt for a 2. Duke hits his slingshot German suplex to Stacks and then teases one to the outside, but Tony moves and sends him flying into the chairs at ringside. Chase then comes back with this somersault senton on the outside to an array of boos from this crowd.
They just hate him.
The family then hit Power and Glory, the suplex splash combo, but Hudson breaks it up again. Andre Chase does his side Russian leg sweep into the Chase U stomps, but now Chase U are out there. Yeah. They've walked out. They don't want to give him a C on
boo, we hate you, but we don't know why.
They walk out. There's an inside cradle for a near fall from Chase U, and then D'Angelo hits the spine buster, and then the bada bing, bada boom from the family to pick up the win. And new, the family are back to being tag champions.
Yeah, 2-time tag champions, the D'Angelo family. But what's this all mean with the Andre Chase and Chase U? Like the story there is kind of a little backwards. So it's like, it's not even necessarily that Tony D and Stacks are now heels and like won the titles this way. It's like all the heat is on Chase and it's Andre really. So it was really bizarre, and definitely like I got some laughs out of it when like the crowd were like visually shown leaving, but it is kind of weird when it's like, well, wait, you're acting as if this guy canceled. And if I'm referring to this, comparing this to like real life, when someone gets canceled, it's usually for bad shit. So It's like, well, you're kind of teasing that he's done that. So it's, I don't know. I'm in a weird ways about this because it definitely took away from the match.
It made the match feel completely flat.
Yeah.
The family, like, I quite like Stacks. I think he's good and shows promise, but they're kind of babyface-esque. And then this team, we even said when they won the titles, it felt not as big as it should have been, because if it was them beating a Gallus or like more of a heel like faction tag team, I think it would have felt huge for Chase U, who've been really fun babyfaces to watch. I don't really want to boo these guys.
Yeah.
I don't think they work as heels. They're way more fun as being a team you want to get behind. But instead, I think the family feel a little flat as a tag team.
Yeah,
right now.
Something's a bit off, yeah.
And then taking the best thing away from Chase U, which is you just wanting to rally behind these underdogs, just made it feel completely flat. And as you said, it's like, it's going to be completely heinous. What there's photos.
Photos of what? Like he secretly did illegal things to fund Chase U. he's in an affair with someone, even though like
is he weird? Is Thea Hale? Is that why Thea? Is that why she got so mad? Well, remember when she JC dressed her up, he was all like lost for words and little.
I don't know if that's the direct. I don't know. You could be right.
I don't know.
It's like, is he dating someone? Is he dating Thea? Is he dating JC? Is he dating someone else? Is he involved in the mafia with Tony D?
He got Bodie Hayward fired.
Oh, I mean, that's a deep cut, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's like clearly Tony D and Stacked had this over him. So you would assume it's something that like you did something and now you're paying for the repercussions. So I don't know. It's very funny, but watch in a week or so. This is going to be something we're not being paid off at next week, or probably until the pay-per-view. It would be very funny if we just never find out why people hate this guy, kayfabe-wise. But again, a bad storyline for one of the most like underdog characters is let's pretend everyone hates him. Is not a good storyline in wrestling unless it's for a bad guy.
Yeah.
So it's a little backwards. Yeah. Because you could have done like, yo, Tony Stacks, like you guys did some like really awful shit to us. And it's like, what did they do? And everyone acts like, oh my God, these mafia guys, you would assume like they killed someone. Here it's like, what could this guy have possibly done that all his students, did? It's going to come out that he's not a real professor and it's not a real college.
You think?
Booker T tipped them off by saying, this guy's not a real professor. And then they were like, I wonder if there's merit to that. And then it turns out that that's the case.
Yeah. So. At Poisonrana Pod, what did Andre Chase do?
Yeah, I want your worst case scenarios here. I want wrong answers only. What did Chase do?
We go to WWE Hall of Famer Lita, who needs to upgrade her. Like, I think we have better internet connection than Lita.
Don't jinx it. Not going
sometimes. But she's picking her two people to go at it for the Iron Survivor, and she's just a massive Lash Legend fan. Lita was like, I got to see Lash Legend. I got to see Roxanne Perez.
You know who Lita is a bigger fan of? Joe Coffey. Because that's who she picked for this other match.
I thought that was JBL, no?
No, JBL picked next week.
Oh, JBL's next week. Yeah, she loves Joe Coffey.
Lita was like, yo, that Joe Coffey?
Lita, the chick that did all the moonsaults and the ranas, just loves the Scottish lad.
Yeah.
With the running headbutt.
Yeah, so she picked Joe Coffey to take on
Trick.
Right,
I get Trick, but yeah.
Lita's also a big Trick fan.
Yeah.
Who isn't?
Yes, so we've got Roxanne and Lash Legend coming up and Trick Williams versus Joe Coffey coming up. We see Baron Corbin backstage who approaches Dominic Mysterio, and Baron says that Dom's been doing great keeping hold of that gold, and says, look, I know you've had some problems with Wes Lee, but I'm going to take care of him tonight. Dom is like, yeah, he's this pest that just won't go away, keeps quitting, but then he keeps coming back. And Corbin basically says, yeah, Wes sucks. And they fist bump. So we're now going to have the ultimate team of Dominic Mysterio, Baron Corbin, and Logan Paul.
Yeah, it's seeming like the stable of people just hate. Gotta say, loved Logan Paul giving Dominic Mysterio a shout out on his phone at UFC, spelling his name wrong. Gotta shout out Dominic for getting back at him with shout out Logan Paul on his phone on Monday night. Oh my God. That was very funny. So loving Dominic, but if you want me to hate Dominic, you're doing the right thing by booking him, by being friends with Baron Corbin. But Baron Corbin, what's with the vest? You didn't even wear this in your match later. Take the fucking vest off. You look like Aladdin. You look like you're a prison person. I don't know what's going on.
Did you see that Billie Eilish thing that's been going around?
Yes. Wait, which one?
About the men don't get body shamed. Stuff like that. Women are nice to men or something like that.
Yeah. Bullshit.
And it's all wrestlers I've seen coming out being like, yo, people like make fun of the way I look all the time.
Yeah.
I look at Corbin and I somewhat do feel bad for him because everything he tries gear-wise, nothing's ever looked good. I don't know. I'll
give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think looking
the fur coat.
The fur coat.
He was like a king or something, right?
Oh, come on. Yeah, it didn't look great.
No, it's better than
like I thought his greasy hair and like
Skullet.
No, the original NXT as a wrestler looked way better than.
I think his gear in his match later is good, but I don't know what this vest was because he doesn't even, like, it's terrible. Just take it off. Fucking Pinocchio looking motherfucker. Take off the vest. Waistcoat. This guy always looked like a waiter.
It was like a black. It was like
it's
more like a
dominate.
Seth Rollins,
yeah, it's domination.
Damien Priest kind of shit.
I don't know why he's wearing that.
Dominate. We go to the Supernova 11 sessions with Metaphor. They invite Alpha Academy out. So Chad Gable, Otis Redding, Akira Tozawa, and Maxine Dupree.
Yeah, great team here. I always forget Otis's name, but now I'll remember it more because Otis Redding, great. I just call him Chris Farley.
What? Otis Dojovic, was it?
The Dozer.
Dozovic? Yeah.
Oh, okay, wait. You remember what was his tag team name with Tucker?
Heavy Machine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Never forget.
Pour one out.
So they're talking about Otis getting the place rocking last week in their match.
That's because he was moving side to side.
And Raw was bizarre. He had a match with Nakamura and basically just killed Nakamura for 9 minutes. Nakamura did nothing. Then Nakamura hits the Kinshasa twice. Oh, okay. But they were like, we've got to protect Otis in this match.
Wow. Good for Otis.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And they're kind of teasing who's going to be the next person to face Noam Dar. And they're saying, Noam, you're synonymous with this cup. You've held it 3 times. And Noam's like, yeah, they even had to make a tournament to find someone to face me, and they still couldn't beat me. And Chad says, well, I think our next challenger is right here. Meanwhile, Otis flirts with Lash Legend a little bit.
Yeah.
He's wiggling his hips, and everyone's rather disgusted by it.
Well, the NXT crowd like it, but yeah, the Metaphor don't like it. But I mean, Otis has had some like on-screen relationships as well in WWE. So I mean, he's out there.
He's a ladies' man.
Yeah.
So Noam thinks that Chad the whole time is talking about Otis. He's saying that he's got a big appetite that can go, go, go. His hips don't lie as Otis is gyrating. He says he can lift 1,000 pounds. And Noam Dar's like, yeah, that's Otis. That's fine. And he's like, and he's an Olympian. He's like, what? Goes, he's a former NXT tag champion. He's a former Raw tag champion, former SmackDown tag champion. That's right. Your next challenger is me. Thank you.
How about you?
And Noam's livid. It's quite a reverse because normally you see these things where you're teasing like the little guy and then it's
Kane,
big guy.
Mark Henry, yeah.
Here they're doing the other way around. It's like, yeah, Otis is big, but he's kind of shit.
Yeah,
no one's thinking.
Yeah.
So yes, they agreed in the match. So it's Noam Dar versus Chad Gable next week, and they all dance. The Academy are just dancing.
Okay, so
Akira Tozawa doing his little dance.
Swerve, wanna drive,
yeah.
It's the same thing to me. He's just like, hey, that's funny. I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah.
I love Alpha Academy. I like the Metaphor. I think this match will be good. This segment was all right. It was pretty funny. It did feel backwards because it's like, wouldn't the heel not want to fight the
Otis,
huge dude, right? But okay, I think the match would be better. But it is a rounds match, right? Definitely not as excited as maybe a one-on-one would. But I like to have Gable with these through. Gable is someone we've loved definitely for so long, and to finally see some rub on the main roster is fantastic. As much as I think this is somewhat getting him more over than he's potentially ever been over, I still was hoping out for him to be the guy to beat Gunther.
I feel they're just postponing it.
Okay.
I think they're kind of like the Cody thing, distract you over here.
Because he's the only right guy to do it if they have to do it, because like, let's be honest, it's not gonna be the Miz.
I gotta be honest, I'm very intrigued in that match.
I mean, the Miz seemed like he actually tried wrestling for the first time like last week or whatever on Raw, but then like that weird finish with Ivar, and then like, I don't know, that's all very weird.
This week he was doing Dudley Dogs, Tornado DDTs, Hurricane Ranas. No, it's funny because I think 2 years ago you book Gunther versus the Miz, and it's Gunther having to do a Miz match. I think it's the other way around now, and I'm interested to see Miz.
We'll see.
Try and have a Gunther match.
I mean, what about, speaking of Nakamura? You know, Nakamura has been been calling out challengers for Survivor Series.
Okay.
Seems, right? He's like, I need a worthy challenger. And everyone online is like, oh, imagine it's CM Punk coming out in Chicago to be the worthy. No, Nakamura just beat one giant on Raw. I'll tell you what other giant he's going to beat at Survivor Series. Omos.
Where's Omos been?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're getting Punk. I think you're getting another giant for Nakamura to fight.
I'm just not really buying into the Punk thing at this point.
No.
For Survivor Series.
Yeah, because he's the devil. He's going on the other show.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing.
I'm excited to see Gable and Darby.
Yeah, I have been
match.
enjoying these dark kind of Heritage Cup defenses, and Gable's great. So I think that's a really good match to go on TV.
Even a tag team, if it was to be, there's 3 of them. There's only Menta and Dar on their side, but a tag team match would be good too. But both teams are comedy and it's funny.
Yeah. We go to our first Iron Survivor Challenge qualifying match of the night. Roxanne Perez taking on Lash Legend.
Yeah, thanks, Lita.
Lash slams Roxanne early. Roxanne goes for a tilt-a-whirl crucifix pin, but gets held up by the bigger Lash Legend. There's a sunset flip attempt from Rox, but Lash kind of muscles out of it. There's then a drop kick to Legend, sending her to the outside. As Roxanne's running the ropes, Jakara Jackson trips her, and Booker, who's a pretty big Metaphor fan, he is pissed.
Was a bigger Roxanne fan.
Yeah, he's like, what the get her out of here. And the ref does just that. He sends Jackson out of there. Lash then gets Rox in a torture act, just bending her right back.
Very impressive. Yeah, Rox went for a tilt-a-whirl, but it's countered into a torture rack. And I know Lash Legend definitely has her haters out there, but I got to say the torture rack was nice.
Perez fights back, hits a tope suicida and a high cross, and then this like wheelbarrow turned into a slam for a 2 count. Lash then goes for a cartwheel into a moonsault, but misses, and Jakara Jackson runs back out. And as the ref is dealing with her, Kiana James comes around the other side, distracting Roxanne Perez, allowing Lash Legend to hit a big boot in the corner, which the boot was nowhere near Rox here, and they cut it from the replay. And then she hits like a choke slam into a powerbomb for the win. So Lash Legend is advancing to the Iron Survivor Challenge. And Roxanne's continuing her feud with Kiana James. Wasn't all over after their trick or street fight.
Again, thank you,
Devil's
Lita.
Playground. Sorry.
Devil Playground, yeah. Thank you, Lita, for booking this. I think we get Kiana and Roxanne both in this match. There's always the like... Last year, yeah, they did that last year, so yeah, I imagine they do it again. Maybe Roxanne's the one to get in. But definitely a bit of a weird choice with Lash Legend. Definitely, I know she's not wrestling week to week on NXT TV. Of course, there's Level Up and stuff, but still has not looked like...
How many times is she going in the penalty box?
Just stay in it until the end, and then maybe you have a chance of winning. Yeah, I think Lash Legend has such a powerful character and like her voice and like speaking is easy, very easy for her. But when it comes to wrestling, definitely like stands out, not up to par with some of the others on the show.
Get why they've kind of kept her around as long as she has, as they have, because you're right. Like she does have a star quality to her. She's pretty fun, especially in Metaphor. Like she's excelling in that. In ring, still not really stepped it up, especially at the level when you look at like a Tiffany Stratton or some of the people who've kind of come in at the same time.
Yeah.
Like some of this did look pretty clunky, and the finish didn't look great. But yeah, she's advancing. You might be right. Roxanne might still get another chance.
But Lash is in the match. Wow.
We go to the locker room where we see all the tag teams. There's Hank and Tank. There's Idris and Malik. There's who else was there? Briggs and Jensen.
And if you were watching the camera on them, it's Briggs is on his phone
the whole time.
And Jensen's like, "Hey, look, we're on screen right now." And Briggs is like, "Yeah, I'm busy." And Jensen kind of is giving him a look, and then is kind of like looking over at his phone, like, "What are you doing?" So this is the tension of Briggs and Jensen.
I know.
This could be it.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Wait for it. Are they going their separate ways?
Oh, is that what he used?
Remember, that was the Journey song.
Yeah.
Briggs Jensen's like, wait, I can use that song going forward? I'm out. I'm done with this guy. No, it looks like Briggs is the one busy. He's too busy on his phone.
Too busy.
Who's he texting?
The one leaking shit. Andre.
I don't know what this guy how he's involved. That's weird.
No idea.
That's out there. Anyway.
So Hank and Tank is saying they're all at the top of their games right now, and new champs means new number one contenders. And Tony and Stacks come in with this Italian girl. Have we seen her before?
I don't think
a wedding or something.
Gambino on WoW. There's another one on WoW that they've used the same Italian mobster characters. So I don't think this was her, but I could be wrong. Maybe Siino or Frank are yelling at us, but I did not think it was the same one we've seen.
The Garzas come in and they're wanting to challenge for the titles, and Tony says, "Wait, last time we saw you, you got your asses handed to you by the Creeds, being slammed through tables." And the Italian girl says, "Next week we're busy. We're celebrating with the family." So we're having
another
celebration next week with the family.
Okay,
so I guess we're going to get more of this character.
Yeah, but can we get better catering? Remember they had their meatballs. They didn't really. They were just sitting at the perch. What are they going to do for this party? Have more old Italian people in it? I'm down. Don't get me wrong, but
AJ Galante.
No, we don't need him. I love how they still reference him, even though he's not been a character for like a year on the show. I'm pretty sure he's dead. I have no idea.
Who was he?
I have no idea. Gun to my head, I cannot tell you. He's like a sports dude. Like I have no idea. Quickly, guess. Give me a guess. I said he's a sports
I say like some shitty comedian.
Wasn't he like he was like a hockey team owner, the sketchy hockey team dude. There's something up here too, like Canadian.
AJ Galante.
Oh man. Yeah. Anyway, so there's gonna be an Italian celebration for the family. I don't know why I said Italian, but it's gonna be Italian, so it is that. But yeah, it's gonna be a bunch of good fellas.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Did you see Martin Scorsese playing? You know, like there's this TikTok meme where it shows your face on your screen, and then it shows you two movies, and you have to pick.
Right.
And you go through a list, and then they start putting the ones you picked against each other, and then you find out like what movie you think is superior.
Okay, yeah.
Martin Scorsese, his daughter or granddaughter, making him play this TikTok. And Martin Scorsese chooses Birdman over like every other movie ever fucking made. And I was like, you didn't even make that movie.
Have you seen Birdman?
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it over like Moana.
I put Birdman over Moana.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Scorsese really loves Birdman. And everyone's like,
a good film.
That's wild.
It's a good film.
Yeah. Anyways.
I mean, he can't pick his own film.
No, he was picking Birdman over other people's things. But everyone's like, really? Over like I forget what they are now, but I was like watching. My reaction was the same, and as I went to be angry on social media, I realized everyone's like, "Whoa, Scorsese really loves Birdman."
It's a good film.
Keaton should have won.
Yeah. We go to the Xia Li tea party.
Wait, I've always wanted to do this. It's NXT time, literally, because we're gonna have some tea. Hey, you made tea. Hey, where's my tea? Oh, my tea's on the table. Oh, man.
Do you want me to get your tea?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll explain everything. So if you've been following NXT, Lyra Valkyria is our new NXT women's champion. And here she is watching the screen. This says earlier today. Thank you. Earlier today. And she's hanging out here with Fake Regal.
Yeah, Robbie Brookside.
Shout out Robbie Brookside.
And some other bald British lads.
We couldn't figure out who this was. Is this Danny Burch?
I don't know. He sounded maybe Scottish, but
so they're watching and they see that something pops up on their screen and it says you are invited to the Warriors tea ceremony.
They have the same technology MJF has on AEW because she says I've got a text message and then it just pings to the phone.
I never thought of that. Yeah. Why would anyone phone? Anyways, yeah. That's how you get scammed.
So on Wednesdays, we've got the Like a Dragon Rising Man Who Must Not Be Named street fight. And on Tuesdays, we've got the Xia Li Warrior Tea Party.
Crumpets.
Yes. So Lyra Valkyria enters, and it's like a kind of traditional, like Chinese setting with these nice, like rugs and tables, and Zaya's in her like traditional gear.
Yeah, Lyra comes in and stops her, and at first, like, she's like, whoa, what are you doing? You can't come in here like that. I thought she was like, take off your shoes, but instead she's like, you gotta wear this.
Zaya says, I've got this vest. Baron Corbin was wearing it earlier. Put it on. Vests. So Lyra wears this vest, and Zaya says, this is how my ancestors acknowledged each other before combat, and a deep bow is a sign of deep respect. And Lyra says, really? Deep respect isn't something I expected from you, Zaya. And Zaya says, look, I want to be noticed, and I want to be on an even playing field next week, so we must choose the correct leaves.
Okay, so like I get with what they're going about. I think the direction was in the right mindset, but how it was pulled off was not something I liked. Also, over top playing was like a bed of like Chinese, like, you know, what is it? Not wind chimes, but like pretty like, you know, stock music of like what a Chinese, you know, tea drinking thing would be. And she's telling her like, hey, I think it's actually really cool if it was, she's basically saying like, hey, you know, I'm reading your tea leaves, because that's a whole thing. But the way it was kind of about was a bit too, you know, college video for me.
So she goes on and pours the water on the tea leaves and says that when you pour the water, they transform. And this is what happens when we have a wrestling match. We transform. And tea must be brewed at the correct temperature for the correct amount of time. Otherwise, you can destroy it, as they're delicate and they crumble. And that could be what happens next week when I consume you. And Zaya pours the tea and tells Lyra to consume the tea. And Lyra says, respectfully, I will not. And Zaya says, well, if you don't consume it, I will show no remorse in battle. And Lyra says, okay, well, next week, let the strongest warrior win. And they both bow, and Lyra takes a title, leaves.
Nice.
No, I'm with you. I kind of like the idea of this. You kind of see similar things in, you know, Karate Kid and that, like all those kind of martial arts movies. It's you'll meet the enemy, and it's like tomorrow we're fighting till death, but today we're going to drink tea. It is kind of something you see, and I think that I actually kind of like the Xia Li character. I've kind of liked her on Raw recently, like going after Becky and wanting to go for this title, and I think it somewhat works. I do think Lyra is kind of weak when it comes to the acting. I felt she's had a few of the awkward moments, and I think maybe this was laughable more because of Lyra than Xia. I thought Xia played it quite well, and I think back to, you know, when Lyra was awkwardly flirting with Dragon Lee and stuff like that. It's just, it hasn't connected with me. Her wrestling does. I really like her in ring.
I mean, that's probably why they're doing this kind of stuff, to get her some laps around. This kind
exactly.
of stuff.
But I didn't hate this, as ridiculous as it kind of might sound.
Yeah, I like Xia Li as well. I think they've definitely done a good job of hiding like maybe some of her flaws, whether it be like actually in ring, but they've made her kick seem somewhat like viable and like strong. And I'm definitely interested in seeing what they do to book this in order to keep Xia Li strong for like her feud on Monday nights with Becky. I'm wondering if Becky gets involved somehow, if there's something going that way. But yeah, I think they had the right intention, bringing in like the tea leaves and the reading your kind of almost like your fortune, and it didn't necessarily hit for me, but I think I'm interested and intrigued in the matchup next week. But I loved how Zaya's like, all right, next week we're gonna kill each other, but like you have to consume your tea. And Lyra's like, you know what, this tea kind of smells a little funky. I ain't drink this shit. And Zaya's a little offended by this, like, yo, I didn't like, but maybe, you know, she could have poisoned it. We've seen Xia Li like in this like cult thing before, like we don't know. So maybe Lyra was smart not drinking the tea.
Do we get the return of Boa soon?
I mean, we saw them backstage in that segment earlier with face paint, Boa and Dante Chen. So like, I don't know. Did we get Tian Sha?
Yeah.
Not Mia. Sorry, what was the
Wendy Chu?
Yeah, but what was her character?
Mei Ying.
Mei Ying. Wow, you answered way faster than me and Siino did last week. We were like, what was her name again? Mei Ying. Maybe we're getting some sort of, you know, dragon team back. Remember their heels? But I don't know. I definitely like liked what they had in mind, but maybe it didn't come across.
Yeah, I want to see Shawn Michaels' version of Tien Shah.
This is tea and Shah.
Tea and Shah.
What kind of tea you think this was? Like some classic green tea?
It looks some sort of green kind of tea.
The ones you get like little thing. I like when you get tea at a restaurant. It's nice for digestion. What are we drinking right now?
We're drinking the tea.
My tea's gone cold.
I'm wondering why.
I like a good green tea more than like other teas. I'm definitely more of a coffee person.
I'm a green tea kind of guy.
Yeah, tea can kind of sometimes be gross, but I understand why people like it. And I like when it's got good stuff in it for you. Like helps you.
Like flavors?
No, like green tea like helps, I don't know, digest.
Oh, peppermint tea is good for like after dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
When you got gas. No.
Smoking that green tea.
Yeah. We go to Trick and Mello, who are backstage, and they're asked about the punch last week when Mello went to punch Lexis King but accidentally hit Mello. And Trick is like, look, I know it wasn't intentional. Like, these things happen. He's aiming for Lexis. And Mello is like, yeah, but doesn't sound as convincing. And he reiterates that he wasn't the one that attacked Trick Williams and says tensions were high last week when they were talking with each other, but accidents happen. So Mello kind of alluding to like Trick's gripes last week. He maybe set out a turn, an accident.
He also said something about lie detector, and then Mackenzie's like, whoa, lie detector, and then he like brushes her away.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And Mello says he's going to be in Trick's corner against Coffey tonight. I thought Mello was a little heavy-handed here almost. With his...
You think he was too, like, giving it away too much?
Maybe. A little.
I mean, later on, someone basically takes credit for the attack. That's not Mello.
No.
Which definitely stirs the pot even more for the coming weeks. But Mello basically like, oh, no. And the lie detector thing, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Mello don't miss.
We see Kiana James, who says, like last year, Roxanne won the Iron Survivor. Well, this year she can't, courtesy of, she's calling herself KJ now. And Gigi comes in and she just says Kiana is full of shit. And Ariana Grace calls out, this was the girl she faced in the tournament.
Petrovic? Is this Sword Lady?
I think so. Or no, wasn't it the replacement? Whoever the replacement was.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought this was the Sword Lady that attacked her.
Yeah, they break out. We finished the tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know, too many tournaments in wrestling.
Not enough.
Ariana Grace calls out this girl from the other week, and Gigi tells Grace, I hope you have experience with getting your ass whooped, because that's what's going to happen tonight. And Ariana questions, why does everything have to end in a fight?
Might not be in the right profession.
Yeah.
Ariana, but...
She just wants to have fun.
So Gigi and Ariana later.
Yeah, can't wait. We see Bron Breakker getting interviewed. He says he's the badass of NXT. He hurts people.
He even got his shirt, Best Spear in the Business, made now into like a
vest.
Muscle. Yeah. Vest. No,
sorry, I call them vests. Tank top. Yeah.
Wife beater, whatever. Yeah, it's Best Spear in the Business. So he's got multiple versions of this shirt.
Do you want one?
No, I'm all right. Imagine wearing this shirt in public.
Best Spear.
No one would know what's this guy talking about. Best Spear in the Business.
Dijak comes in and says, while Bron was busy picking splinters out of his ass, I qualified to be in the Iron Survivor. He's like, look at me. And Bron's like, okay. Bron says Dijak doesn't want him to win. Dijak doesn't want him in the Iron Survivor because he'll kill him. And Dijak says he does because he's the one person he can't break. Bron says, you better not want me because you'll be looking for retribution, pal.
Oh.
So,
damn.
I assume this is a qualifying match. Do you?
I assume now Braun is added to this match. Yeah.
You see both these guys in it?
Well, Dijak is in it.
Dijak. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. From last week.
Too many tournaments.
But Braun, it kind of sounded like Dijak's like, hey, Braun, there's a tournament. You and your friends, you can't come. And Braun's like, you know what? I don't want to be in it, but now I kind of do. So now he's like, he's going to be in it. So it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
At least is Lash Legend
Dijak I just find very funny.
Oh, yeah.
He just shows up and is like...
Yeah. He's funny on social media. I got to give him credit because he definitely is hilarious. But this character is so silly.
It's so ridiculous.
It's like, how do you expect us to have legs anywhere else past like being laughed at as the weirdo?
He's good. I really like
he's a good
him.
wrestler.
I really like him.
Just so funny.
We go to Lita's two favorite wrestlers, Trick Williams and Joe Coffey.
Whoop that Trick.
Yeah.
Whoop that Trick.
I like it.
I love Booker T's ad-libs for this, dude. It's hilarious. It's great.
This is for the to qualify for the Iron Survivor Challenge. Coffey goes for a backslide early, but Trick muscles out of it. Pops Coffey up with an uppercut. Didn't look too great, I didn't think. Trick then takes out Wolfgang and Mark Coffey on the outside, and then Trick is sent to the outside as we go to break. After the break, Joe Coffey does a handstand into a senton. A nice-looking leaping neck breaker, leg lariat, and then the flapjack. Goes for his, what's he call this? Like the wrist control, like lift into the uranage.
Trick does it or Coffey?
Trick.
Yeah, I know he does the bookend, but
he does the bookend after this, but he goes for his like finishing move he's been using, but Joe blocks it. And then Trick hits the bookend and Book loses his mind. And then Joe kicks out of it and Book sounds pissed.
Come on, man. He's like, how can you kick out of my move? What the hell?
Gallus then come out again and Mello tries to take out Wolfgang as Trick tumbles to the outside. Joe follows up with a tope suicida. And whereas we've seen in the past, Trick would kind of move Mello out the way and take the blow, we see Mello just kind of run away to get out of the way of this.
Yes, definitely kind of stretching the story here where Mello clearly saw this guy aiming for Trick and just went, nah, and like backed away. Yeah. Whereas they talked about in the promo a week or two ago, like, oh, like I've been there for you, but you're not taking there for the bullet. Me.
Yeah. Joe follows up with that shitty running headbutt thing he does.
Yeah.
Looks terrible. Take this out.
Yeah.
And then goes for all the best for the bells, but Trick hits him with a flash knee instead and picks up the win. So even though like Mello didn't take the bullet, Trick still did the job and picked up the win.
So even though Mello didn't help and kind of caused him a blow there, he still won. So
I liked that. I liked that more than kind of the interview earlier, which felt a little heavy-handed with Mello being like, yeah. Whereas I thought this was like quite in a way. But...
I mean, sure, next week Trick will say like, yo, I watched back my match. What the hell? Like, you didn't take that bullet for me. So it should
also
still...
Mello can be like, hey man, you said you want to do things yourself. Like, I'm just letting you won the match. You know, you can play it both ways, which I kind of like.
I didn't think too much of the match personally. I know Trick has definitely improved, but I was expecting a bit more. Joe Coffey can be all right sometimes, but definitely was not really feeling this. I'm happy Joe Coffey's not the one in the match, but I imagine maybe Mello gets added as well.
men's sounds more interesting so far than the women's, I would think.
Because Lash Legend's in the other one.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. The match was fine. I think you're right. Some of Joe's stuff is really good. Some of his offense looks really like weird. And
no, he's definitely had his moments. Even I've watched him before at WWE, and he's definitely had some moments. But
the Iron Man,
that's right. He's not going to make it to the Iron Survivor. Too bad. But this wasn't too much to write home about.
Backstage, Dragunov tells Wes Lee to leave a piece of Baron Corbin for him. And Wes alludes to him having other things on his mind as well, kind of looking at the NXT championship.
So maybe Wes wants a shot in this Iron Survivor, which would be awesome, I think. Yeah.
We see Lexis King, who comes to Baron Corbin. And
I mean, oh my God, this guy's facial hair, man.
It's terrible.
This lineup he's got is ridiculous. I've never seen this in person. Like I joked to you maybe a week ago or so, like this looks like the GTA character lineup. And now he's a newer one.
Yeah.
Like a fresher lineup. It looks like it's like glued onto his face.
It looks as well like
Velcro or something.
For Halloween, I'd like grow out a beard and then darken my beard.
It's like shoe polish.
It looks like he's painted on his beard.
It's really bizarre.
It's really bizarre.
I can't look. He looks fake, like Ken.
It kind of works for him being a
bad guy.
This heel.
Yeah.
And
it's just weird.
Yeah. So Corbin says, look, Lexis, you taking out Trick was a big move. And Lexis says that he always knew he'd be a big player in this game. Corbin asks how he got.
How'd you do it?
How'd you do it? and Lexis doesn't tell him, but wishes him luck later.
Yeah, so he says, like, man, I gotta ask, how'd you do it? How did you hit someone from behind? That I've done a million times.
Yeah,
because I've been in this game for almost 10 years. But Lexis, how did you do it? How did you take this guy out and not anyone find out? And I'm asking you in front of the camera.
So Lexis is kind of alluding to
taking credit.
He's worked with someone maybe to get this job done.
Yeah, he's basically like, oh, you know, like I had to do what I had to do. And
but also I kind of get the sense with this character, it could be something where he's just full of shit.
Yeah.
He's come in, he's trying to shed the image of his father, and he's trying to be a big deal, and basically any bad shit that happens, he'll take credit for, and he had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I think that would make it a more interesting story if we find out like, oh, he's the one who attacked him. Yeah, that's right, I did it, and then it's like, no,
Hideo Itami, that was me.
Yeah, like he should take credit for it, and then it comes out like, no, it was Mello. It's going to be Mello at the end of the story. It has to be. But at this point, right now, we're led to believe that it's Pillman Jr. and his lineup.
Yeah,
it's really the person who should be taken out is this guy's barber.
It's terrifying. He's gone back to him though.
He's chosen this to look like this.
Yeah.
His hair is great. His teeth are great. It's just like his shirts are great.
Didn't he?
Yeah. I do need to know who he went to. These guys are pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember when that was a thing in AEW. But like that lineup, man, I can't not look at it.
It's bizarre.
I kind of want his picture. He posted a photo on his social today. I was laughing at it so much because I'm like, this
what do you think
lineup.
of his shirt?
The shirts are funny. It's wrestling, right? Like you got to dress like it's wrestling. But like the lineup, Halloween costume ideas.
Oh boy. We go to match the Braun Brutes, Butch and Ridge.
I know they're British because I saw them wearing their hats and jackets, their coats last week, but their gear tonight looked like Team Angle. Like I know like the colors in your flags are similar, but it looked very USA, like July 4th gear from the Brawling Brutes for me too.
I mean, like white and red and blue are UK colors as well.
That's what I'm saying. I understand that you guys got the same colors, but like it didn't come across very British. It looked almost like USA. Like,
I don't know.
I thought that it looked very baseball-y USA kind of thing. But maybe they're like, hey, we're in the States now. But I'm not expecting them. I would have liked it if they just wore their petticoats and
their hats.
Yeah.
They're taking on OTM. Puddle of Mud.
They come out with the Grand Theft Auto like font.
Logo. And
that's
stuff,
pretty cool. Yeah.
Butch stomps on Lucian Price's elbow and drop kicks him to the outside. There's the 10 beats of the Baron to both Price and Nima. Then there's an Uranagi from Bronco to Ridge on the apron. Like quite impressive getting the big guy up there. And then like the foot face stomp from Price to Dunn. Bronco holds back Dunn as Price charges at him in the corner with a clothesline. And then there's Ridge comes in with this spinning Uranage to Price, who is, again, a big guy he's picking up and just throwing him around here. Ridge then gets caught with this huge slam. Dunn runs in with an enziguri, gets caught with a big slam onto Ridge.
Yeah.
And then Bronco throws up Dunn into a knee to the gut for a 2 count. Bronco goes for a choke slam, but Dunn enziguris him and goes up top. But Price leaps up after him to the top rope, but Dunn catches him, breaks his fingers, hits the moonsault, taking up Scripps and Bronco on the outside as Ridge powerbombs Nima, and then the Brawling Brutes hit their kind of like almost a magic killer DDT.
Yeah, is this a shout out to Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan? Because this is their old move too.
Oh, the 1-2.
The 1-2 DDT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the win. I mean, they were in a team with them, weren't they?
That's right.
At
exactly.
Point. Yeah.
So the Brawling Brutes send them back into the mud.
Yes.
Essentially here. There was the streets versus the streets. So we found out which streets are superior. The streets of, even though Scripps says he's from St. Louis and their Titantron is like GTA Vice City, California or whatever, but we have it here. British streets are harder, is what I learned from watching this. OTM, I'm actually happy didn't just get the win over an actual tag team just because they're new.
Yeah.
I know they are new. We've kind of been like, they're not really ready for being put into this. I still kind of think that, but they still look a bit better than they have before. So they're going to get better and better. That's all you can hope for.
Yeah, I think this is the right spot for them right now. I'm with you. I'm glad they're not over pushing them at this point. I think Brawling Brutes look really smooth as a tag team now. Seeing Ridge, I think he looks good in there, and I kind of like this pair together. I also like, we mentioned earlier about Noam being more scared about Chad than he is Otis.
Oh, I'm way more scared of Pete Dunne.
Exactly.
Ridge. But
in this match, it was believable. He's this little guy.
I mean, I don't know. Ridge might throw me around a bit and hurt me. I'm not sure.
No, but I mean, it didn't look like it's been such a thing with wrestling, with Vince McMahon's vision of, we can't have this small guy against this big guy. I wish Pete Dunne in there against these two big lads. I'm like, yeah, you beat the shit out of them. Yeah, I believed it. But yeah, this was kind of fun.
Yeah, I could see OTM getting better and better and doing things like this, doing house shows. I know NXT doing loops and all that. Like, that will help these guys get better. And the team of them definitely works for me. I like Scripps a lot better.
Yeah, it looks a good unit.
Yeah, it looks like a proper team. So I know they lost tonight, but I think they gained more reps in here.
We see Joe Gacy, who
this was weird.
It's like a handheld camera thing. He's doing it on his phone.
Yeah,
he's on the roof of the PC.
He's on the roof, and he's basically like, he kind of throws references to like, this isn't my yard. I'm not the big dog.
Says, I feel like the last man in the desert looking for water that doesn't exist. I'm a ghost wandering the halls of NXT, trying to find my place and purpose. And I feel the energy of the people below me going through my feet, but no one really knows me. I don't fit in.
And as he's doing this, we're watching this. I'm like, oh my God, are they going to joke that he's like, this is his like goodbye video? Because he's on the roof. I wasn't too far off.
Yeah. He says, I'm not the biggest dog in the yard or justice, but I'm here right now, an unhinged maniac. And this is where it begins and this is where it ends. As he jumps off the roof. Like the camera goes.
He doesn't. Off. Yeah, he does not. He alludes to, maybe I'll show up right now, and he kind of shows the doors of the PC like down below.
Yeah,
and then he just throws the camera off the roof. Like, again, he didn't jump.
It felt very those vibes.
Yeah. So I definitely did not like this. But if this means he's done or he's going to interfere, is he going to be in this Iron Survivor thing? I don't know. But I did not think this was the right way. If a few seconds into this promo, I got the vibe as a viewer being like, is he like saying goodbye because he's about to kill himself?
Yeah.
And then he does, in fact, throw the camera. And then the commentary are like, oh, man.
Well, that was weird. Anyway, over to Gigi Dolan and Ariana Grace.
It's like, what? So, yeah, not really a fan of this. I'm definitely like still somewhat one of the only people who are in Joe Gacy's corner. But if they're going to continue doing shit like this, then no, I'm not for it. But the guy is a good wrestler. I don't know what we do with him, but definitely not pretending that he's a sad, lonely ghost who's jumping off the roof.
Maybe that was the end of that version of Joe Gacy and we'll see something else. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. We have this conversation every now and then about, this is scripted drama and scripted dramas get away with like so much more. And why does wrestling have, but it's wrestling. And there's always stuff that you just go, I don't know if I want to allude to this guy killing himself.
Suicide character. Like, it didn't work in TNA. It's not going to work here.
Didn't work. Was it Tim White?
I was just thinking Tim White. Yeah, it gave me those vibes. I don't know if that was on TV. It probably was. But man, that was bad too. Yeah. But this is 2023.
We go to Gigi Dolan taking on Ariana Grace. There's a lot of posing from Grace in the early parts of the match. Her waving, her like prom queen stuff. Running crossbody from Gigi. Grace comes in with these like right and left strikes that she's obviously been learning at Battle Arts Academy.
Ariana?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Santino.
Yeah. Followed by snap suplex. Gigi goes for a backslide and then an inside cradle. And then Grace starts slamming Gigi's head against the mat. I want to remove this move. Whenever, especially with the women, like it just takes me back to kind of Divas catfight days. Just looks shitty. Gigi starts to fire back, hits an STO for a 2 count, and then a backslide. Ariana goes for a backslide with the assist from the ropes, but the referee catches her, and then Gigi hits her with a roundhouse kick, and then her sort of finishing DDT move she's been using for the win.
Yeah, another match on this show that I'm just like, okay, it was there. Gigi is someone who's ever since coming to WWE definitely hasn't really impressed in ring. She's got kind of like a look and a character and an attitude that definitely stands out as a character in wrestling, but something about her matches still like don't do it for me, where I think watching this, I was more impressed at seeing new stuff from Ariana Grace, including like that backdrop suplex and stuff. So yeah, Gigi's still like in this like stagnant role for me, like has not moved from where she's been for quite a while. So I feel like a definitely broken record every week. We talk about her every feud she's in. We just go, oh great, now we have to watch this feud. We want it to be over.
I don't think she has a character beyond her look.
Fair.
It's like she looks, the cool gothy looking chick, but she doesn't have any character. Her character isn't interesting. Like Toxic Attraction worked as in it, but she never really stood out.
Yeah, definitely on the like the boring end of the roster right now.
And
it doesn't do much.
I think she's very clunky in the ring, and I want to see more from Ariana. She's obviously newer to this, but I think the character really works for me, and I think she shows a lot of personality in her matches as well. This match wasn't great. You could see a lot of like just slow motion and sort of thinking, okay, what's next? I think there was a point. Did Ariana is she going for a submission or a pin? It might have even been Gigi.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go for a pin here. And it just felt awkward. And
there's a lot of times we watched Gigi matches or some of the newer talent that are like trying out their first few matches on TV, and it's very slow motion-y and like just rehearsing what they've done.
And I give like Ariana Grace a pass on that. I give any of these like women's breakout tournament people a pass because they're new and they're PC recruits and this developmental. But Gigi Dolan, who's been in the system for 3 years and was wrestling before then, like Mae Classic was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't really give so much of a pass to.
Yeah. Funny. I'm catching up on The Wrestlers on Netflix, which is a fantastic show. And there's an episode, the one I watched last night, I'm still not done it, but they're talking about WoW because some of the wrestlers go over to Women of Wrestling. And so it shows like a few of the wrestlers from OVW like making fun of WoW. And like some behind the scenes is it's revealed that for the taping of WoW, for the match, they have to practice the match for a week before they film it. And I'm like, as someone who watches that, I'm like, wait, you practiced a week and that's the best we got?
Right.
That's kind of how I feel with some of these matches in the Performance Center. It's like, you practiced this for like a million times. You drilled this for like the whole week, and this was the outcome. Like, something's not adding up here, essentially. So I'm not just saying it was this match, but this whole show really was kind of this uninterested stories and kind of matches.
It was one of the weakest NXTs for a long time, and I've been pretty high on it recently, but this week didn't do it to me. For me, after match, Grace just puts her crown and sash back on, and she don't care.
Good for her.
Yeah. We get this. This is probably the highlight. This video package highlighting the entire history of Von Wagner and Robert Stone, how they started in the PC on the same day.
This had like a voiceover.
Yeah.
It all started. The journey that started with a photograph. And it's the first photograph is them together in the PC. They signed to WWE the same day.
And then it's showing trust was being built. And we're showing everything leading up to, going to the psychiatrist.
Started as therapy. They were at each other's necks at some points. It showed they don't get along.
And then it's showing like both standing up for each other and the injury to Von Wagner and his recovery, him trying to pull those rubber bands, all of that. And then it cuts. It's beautiful. Watch this.
There's soft piano over
this is a video I think we should all like look back on every 5 years. Just the history of Von Wagner and Mr. Stone.
Honestly, this one's being added to my list. You joke, but never forget Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly in the woods. Yeah. Like that one's I have saved that I watch back. This one's being added to the list.
Briggs and Jensen with the steak.
Yeah. But spoilers, Kyle O'Reilly's still hanging out in the woods, and that's where he found the devil mask.
Oh yeah.
I think.
We then see Von and Stone are just like watching this. They're like, wow.
This had me
beautiful.
howling. It cuts away from this beautifully voiced over, soft, emotional video to them watching this video.
It's like
together.
they've been shown it the first time. They're like,
oh,
wow.
Look, it's us. And they go, wow, powerful stuff.
Powerful stuff. And then Von is like, as he clutches his head.
We've been through a lot,
Stone
man.
goes, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'll be fine. Goes, well, Von, do you want to come to dinner tonight?
With
Von,
my family?
With my family? Von says, oh, well, if your wife makes that pasta with the little sausages, I'll have 2 plates. But easy on the asparagus, though. No joke.
And
asparagus.
So he leaves as Von's like, asparagus sucks, which definitely got a laugh out of me. But Von, man, first of all, you don't like pistachio ice cream, and now you don't like asparagus?
I like asparagus.
I love asparagus.
Makes your pee smell.
I know
good.
it makes your pee smell bad, but like it's still pretty good. It's tasty.
Yeah,
the asparagus is not your pee. But like, I
want to know this pasta recipe with the little sausages.
Yeah, is it penne
what are
sausage?
these little sausages? He specifically
Vienna
said
sausages?
little sausages.
Gourmet.
I'll message Mr. Stone now.
Yo,
I've already had
recipe?
people reply to me today.
Yo, Stone, need that recipe at ASAP. The pasta with the little sausages, no asparagus.
Extra asparagus.
This sounds great. I want to go to Stone's house for dinner. Yeah, this storyline is ridiculous with Von Wagner and Robert Stone. I don't know if this will ever make it to main roster, but I think we need to remember sometimes to live in the moment. And as we get to live and witness this story unfold here, we just got to ride the wave while we can, because sooner or later we'll be talking about how much we miss Von Wagner and Robert Stone, because this either leads to Von Wagner absolutely murdering him, or they go up on the main roster together, or I don't know. But like, what happens after this? He lost his match, but destroyed Braun. I'd put him in the Iron Survivor.
They're both got to be in the Iron Survivor. Right?
Both? Oh, Braun and Von, not Stone.
It should just be a big lads thing.
Yeah, and Wes.
Braun, Von, Dijak. Who are other big guys? Tunde got the push, didn't he? He's out.
Yeah, he's gone, right?
Yeah.
Pour one out. Yeah, I mean, this was hilarious. Yeah, I love this. And I would, because what we're doing with Von. I feel like we're the only ones who love Von.
No, I don't think so.
You think there's more Von love?
Over. Yeah, a lot of Von love.
Some Von Wagner waggers?
Yeah. Some what?
Is that what he calls? What would you call your fans if you're a Von Wagner? Your waggers?
Waggers. Yeah. I don't know.
The Von gang. I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll work on that one.
We see Eddie Thorpe with his earrings, and he says, whoa, this year's been a trip. And Mackenzie's like, yeah, where the fuck have you been?
He's like, I've been up growing trees.
He says, well, I won my strap match, but it depleted me mentally and physically.
Right.
So I went to the woods and focused on my...
I wasn't joking. He was like, man, this guy's been tearing down trees. We need to grow some more.
And he wants to show Jerry Lawler and JBL that he's ready. JBL will be like, in my days, we wouldn't go to the woods. We'd be on the road 24/7.
Yeah. Eddie Thorpe.
I'm sure JBL really respects people going to the woods to find their woo-ha.
Yeah. You're telling me JBL and Jerry Lawler are the ones that this guy's trusting? I'm going to leave it at that. Fuck me. I mean, if you listened last week, me and Siino were joking like, who's Jerry Lawler going to pick? Roxanne, Perez, and Thea Hale. Lita picked Roxanne already, so she beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
But kind of weird. A sentence that came out of this guy's mouth was like, I really want to impress Jerry Lawler. Sorry, Eddie, you're too old. He did mention he's in the woods. Like,
he was finding himself again. Yeah. And this is when Gulak and Dempsey come in and say, oh, you're about as pathetic as that suicidal Joe Gacy.
They didn't say it like that, but they didn't not say it like that. Jesus.
Dempsey says, take me on in the ring. I'm going to stretch you, and you've never faced people like us. So I assume we're getting Dempsey and Eddie Thorpe next week, which could be pretty good, actually.
Charlie just wants to stretch everyone. He's been saying this week in and week out. I'm going to stretch you. He's just really got a problem about stretching, but that could be a good match.
We see Andre Chase being interviewed by Dan Mather. And
no, it's not. Oh, pour one out. We've lost Dan Mather a long time ago, but this was pretty funny.
Whenever I say Dan Mather, it's just the hand with the dictaphone. You just see a bunch of the hands.
This was fake paparazzi, though.
Yeah.
This was like classic, like Kanye West coming out of like a restaurant, and all the paparazzi are like, Andre Chase, Mr. Chase. And he's like, jacket over his head, trying to escape. And then
his collar is all skeweth.
Yeah. And then he's trying to get into the parking lot as all these people, paparazzi, are there. But then JC Jane pulls up.
So Andre says, look, obviously we lost the titles, but I have no comments on any other matters. JC pulls up and goes, Andre, get in the car. So he gets in the car with JC Jane and they drive off.
Oh, scandalous.
To the Holiday Inn.
Whoa. I don't know if that's where they're going, but it's potentially, I think JC's involved somehow. Like, think about it.
Do you think she's framed him?
Yeah, like now I'm thinking she's involved in whatever caused the bad because she's taken over. But she helped them win the titles, though.
Yeah, she's been acting all like that she's on their side, but I think she's trying to take them down. So I think she's been planting evidence.
Interesting.
Against Mr. Chase.
Or she's just like, no, I'm just like supporting my friend. Leave him alone.
I want them to be an idol.
I want them to be an idol.
I think that sounds great.
Yeah. The CW is going to be looking for, on-screen character relationships, and that could be a hot property.
Andre Chase and
Thea Hill.
The first episode of the CW will be the wedding. That's how we started USA, wasn't it? Very early USA was Dexter and Indy.
Shawn Michaels
with that great line. Did somebody say Andre Chase?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, wow.
Recreate JC and
we've had some weddings on NXT. JC Chase. Wow, has a nice ring to it. JC. Better than like Julia Gulia. I'm wondering if that is like the case. Like she and him have this affair. But imagine you're like Shawn Michaels pitching to the CW, like, all right, Shawn, look, if we're gonna have WWE products on our CW, we're gonna need like hot, sexy romance. And he's like,
I know the man.
I got it. The guy who wears a sweater and he's a professor. So ridiculous.
This character's been around for like 3 years.
Too long,
now,
man. Too long.
But I don't hate it.
Too long. This show makes me question my sanity like far many 2 times than once. But yeah.
We go to a main event.
Free Andre Chase. He's innocent. I tell you, he's innocent. Don't cancel people before you don't know why. I'm
standing behind Chase.
You're standing behind Chase?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what he's done yet.
Yeah. Watch. We're going to get canceled by the time this comes out.
Have you listened to John Pollock and Wei Ting talk?
No. Are they canceled?
I look at them both very differently after that episode.
Oh, shit.
The shit these two did.
Yeah.
Like.
What'd they do?
Like, they're vandals.
Oh. I don't know. I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting behavior, to be honest.
I don't know if this will ever happen, but hear me out. Behind the talk.
Behind the talk?
Yeah. Once a year, crossover event. We do a behind the BDE talk show.
It's hard to pin those guys down. They're busy dads.
Yeah, exactly. But it'll happen one day.
Okay, I'm down. Behind the talk.
We'll ask them inappropriate questions.
Yeah.
And they can do the same to us.
We'll make them just very uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah. We usually do whenever we're around them anyways. Or live on their YouTube stream. But yeah. We'll make them feel uncomfortable like we don't do that already.
I'm down.
Behind the talk, coming soon.
Talking about feeling uncomfortable, Baron Corbin comes out for the main event.
Okay. Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Minus the fucking vest.
Yeah.
He had some good gear.
All right.
His pants, his trunks, whatever. What are these? Long boys?
Yeah, it's pants.
Baron Corbin's long boys
Tights.
actually looked good. There, I'll admit it. He looked good. He finally, how long has he been in WWE? He finally got gear. I went, wow, those look good. They fit you.
They had fire on them.
They had like colorful, like a
Flames.
like a teal, an orange.
Ships.
Was that what it is?
Yeah.
Is there a ship on
they were
fire?
burning ships.
Oh, good for him. It looks great.
Yeah.
He finally did it, guys. You know what? Now he could be something.
Your favorite wrestler?
He could be something. Not my favorite wrestler, but like if he looks this way, he looks better.
He's taking on Wes Lee in the main event. Corbin gets Wes in the corner with a big chop. Wes comes back with a Rana. Corbin this looked pretty good actually. Grabs Wes by the wrist and drags him around, like spinning him in a circle before delivering this huge clothesline. Looked pretty good, and someone like Wes could take it really well. Corbin is just dominating him here. Goes for a running shoulder in the corner, but Wes moves, starts to fight back with some punches and knees to the stomach, and then drop kicks Corbin out the ring, followed by a low pay. And then this looked pretty cool. On the outside, Wes swings around the post, doing like a double kick, kind of like a 619 on the outside.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio has hit this a few times. I know he's kind of messed it up a few times. So Wes actually made this look very impressive. I think Rey hit it in his match against Orton and Kurt at WrestleMania.
Okay.
He does it around the post and kind of botched it. But this looked really cool.
He then climbs the top rope and does like a one-legged top rope missile drop kick thing. And then Corbin comes back with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Wes drop kicks him back into the ropes. And then Corbin starts to climb to the second rope, but gets Enziguri to the floor. And now Wes Lee is running and hits a tope con hilo, but Dominic Mysterio is out there. And, well, Dom did what Mello didn't do earlier. Dom takes the bullet for Baron Corbin. And so Wes just beats up Dominic, sends him out of there, runs back into the ring, right into the end of days, and Baron Corbin wins.
Yeah. Okay of a match. Probably the best match on this show. There wasn't a lot of great wrestling on this show, to be completely honest, but at least this one drives somewhat of a story. It kind of hurts Wes with just coming back, but obviously I guess Dom was the reason that he lost the match, at least is the kind of excuse for the finish there. But yeah, like Corbin had some moves in it. I'm not sold on him as the challenger for Ilya, but he has nice pants now, so never say never. But this definitely didn't hit for me, but was probably the better of the matches on this show. I'm really happy Wes is back, and I see a lot in Wes now. I think he's way more comfortable on screen playing himself and less of like a, hey, like me, I'm a cool, nice guy. And like, I don't like that from him. I like him being a bit more of himself, and his wrestling is impressive. That 619 Tiger Feint kick was good. All his moves are good. It was him doing a lot of the work for Corbin.
I do see Wes as potentially being the one to dethrone Ilya down the line.
Yeah.
I think Wes needs that moment with the title. But
he's busy with Dom. I see him winning that title back.
Yeah, I kind of feel he's had his run. He had a pretty long run with it. And I don't know. I feel he'll, like, in the next 6 months, he'll be...
So does he enter this Survivor match and win it and get his match against Ilya at, like, what, Stand and Deliver or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you would get the match way before that pay-per-view, but is that the...
Well, I think you can keep them both distracted until then, but I see maybe, Ilya dropping to Wes at Stand and Deliver and Ilya moving up. I could totally see.
Sure.
After that, we see Dragunov runs out and goes to the Torpedo Moscow on Baron, but gets caught with the End of Days. And as you think Dragunov is just taken out, he gets on the mic and says, "You've made a grave mistake, and now you have to live with the consequences. You want a match as bad, this bad, then you got it. I'll see you at Deadline."
I didn't like him getting geeked out by Corbin. He came out trying to sneak attack Corbin to get revenge for the sneak attack on him. Yeah. Fair enough. But then gets beat up. Yeah. And then Corbin leaves and went, nah.
But it's kind of his style, like, his thing is he gets beaten up, but he's still standing, and he's not like lying. He's on the mic at the end calling him out. Yeah, I don't think the match is particularly exciting. I really enjoyed both Iron Survivor matches last year. I thought they were pretty fun. Right now, I'm not so sure with the people we've had announced, and I think they're going to have to add a couple of hot singles matches to make me more interested in this PLE. But yeah, I think this was unfortunately one of the weaker NXT episodes recently. None of the wrestling really hit for me. Like the Andre Chase stuff is a little confusing. I didn't overly enjoy this week.
No, I did not like this episode of NXT. I know they've been on quite a run lately, and this isn't necessarily meaning that they're back in the shitter, but like it was definitely a step down. And I'll definitely say that this pay-per-view is not looking very exciting to me. I can't say I wasn't a fan of the Iron Survivor matches last year, but they were very forgettable. I don't like the TNA time box thing. I don't like how last year Waller won and then had his TV title match and then it was just over with. Like they treat like the pay-per-views are based around this like it's war games.
No, he had pay-per-view matches.
He had a pay-per-view.
He had like a couple.
A few shots at the thing?
Yeah, because they had the one with the like, remember the like rope broke, causing Braun to win, and then they had the cage match.
Okay.
Like they had a bit of a series. But
yeah. I mean, I'm sure like there'll be some good matches with especially the men's one having who we see in it already and possibly being added. Like, yeah, it could be some good wrestling in it, but definitely would just prefer like some classic single matches, tag team matches and stuff. But I know they like to spice things up and switch things up a bit, but already definitely my interest in this pay-per-view is at a very recent all-time low for some of the recent PLEs have been pretty good cards. And this one, you're telling me the main event is either a Iron Survivor match with Lash Legend or Baron Corbin in a title match. So honestly, this pay-per-view is not already too exciting. No. And it's it's in a few weeks.
Well, that's what we thought. Let's go to the Facebook group to find out what you guys thought.
Yes, join Poisonrana on Facebook, search Poisonrana, join the page, like the page, then find the Facebook group. And hey, there's even a chat you can join in and chat with us. We all like to chat and share memes and stuff, but there's a group we post up feedback threads and we'll read your feedback on the shows just like this one. Would you like to go first?
Sure. We start with Frank, our champ, Fire Frank, who says, the Booker T line of the week, Booker T. You know Andre Chase, he's a man. Vic, yes, I know he is a man. I know Eric Marcotte is upset that NXT legend, the World Warrior Caval, wasn't invited to the Warriors tea ceremony.
Oh, that'd be great.
Shout out T. Very rude of Lyra to turn down that cup. It could have been the best tea party since Santino, Sheamus, and Kozlov.
Was that the last famous wrestling tea party?
Sounds like in my dark years.
That sounds almost like I'm talking about some political thing. But no, that was just a segment on Raw years ago.
The family again has the gold and Big Ange is proud. I guess that's who Big Ange?
Yeah.
Okay. Sadly, Chase U appears to be headed towards sanctions by the NCAA. Loved the Von Stone video and skit. No asparagus.
Wonder if Frank
doesn't like asparagus. You just know it.
Yeah. Nice asparagus on the Barbie. He doesn't like.
I feel like Frank isn't an asparagus guy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Manny from Pacoima writes in, Sean has heat with me. How dare he book one of my favorites, Gigi and Ariana Grace, against each other? The Mello and Trick story continues to tease that Mello is the attacker to the point it feels too obvious, which makes me think it's not Mello. I think it's Wes. Something about his interaction with Ilya makes me think it's him. He kind of hesitated when Ilya asked if Wes would sink to attacking him for the title or something like that. Pour one out for the Globe Theater, which has PWG's current home base as it's shutting down. Shout out Corbin for his sick owl and wolf back piece. I'm looking forward to the Heritage Cup match, but I hope we see Dar and Gable in a regular singles match sometime soon. In the words of Ariana Grace, I love you all. Wow, Manny's a huge Ariana Grace fan. Keep it up, Manny. I need to hear more of this week by week.
And finally, we go to Magan, who says, a trope in adventure films is where the hero drinks poison. The tea ceremony showed that Lyra was smart to not fall for it. The pre-tape setting helped Xia Li's language barrier, and it made for a cool segment. The tag match was good, and Andre Chase selling that his head wasn't in the game was well done. I'm getting annoyed by the constant run-in finishes lately, not just NXT, but all of WWE programming. It was irritating seeing Jakara return to distract the ref after she was ejected. I could forgive the Dom run-in because it protected Wes Lee in defeat. Ilya's going to send Baron Corbin to God in Bridgeport, and it's good that Trick qualified for the Iron Survivor Challenge. I bet Mello will make it too, and the other shoe will drop during deadline. An okay episode.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Manny. And thank you, Frank, for writing in. We appreciate all the feedback there. But yeah, maybe Mello, the final turn happens in the match. If Trick and Mello are both in their Iron Survivor match, then. But then wait, we already got Braun, Dijak. Who are we going to add there? Trick, Mello, and Wes?
Trick, Mello, Dijak, Braun, Von.
I think Wes would be added before
You think Wes?
Von. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, there is fun you can have with the time element of it.
Is it 30 minutes?
25. But you can have more of a scramble like at the end, which Trick could just win it as Mello is going for that final fall.
Is it points? I forget now.
It's points, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think you could have like some drama between the two at the end there, and you do the turn after it. You have Trick win and Mello like raise his hand and then beats him.
Oh, really? Okay, I wouldn't see either of them winning it. I'd see that the reason both of them lose is because of each other, and something happens, and then whoever else is there to pick up. I'd see Wes do. Although you're right, Wes for Stand and Deliver is way too far away, so the winner of this would have to have their shot. So maybe it's not Wes, and he still gets taken down. I don't know necessarily if they're teasing Wes as the attacker, but it's possible with that segment, him saying like, "Oh, I do things too for the title." So we shall see. But Stand and Deliver, I know that's time and ways away. Right as we ended the show last week, it then came out, WWE was like, no, actually, it is happening on the Saturday WrestleMania weekend. So for those interested in WrestleMania weekend and NXT Stand and Deliver, they will be doing the show the Saturday before night one of WrestleMania. And the venues are like pretty much across the street from each other. So it's very accessible for people attending. So if we are going for WrestleMania weekend, it is very easy to easily go to Stand and Deliver. And kind of looking a little snapshot, I would say Wes versus Ilya to be your main event for that show at this kind of point in time, unless you're going Braun and Ilya again. But I'd say Wes is
Ilya, yeah.
And maybe Tiff Lyra too, since like the kind of history there. Yeah. And then maybe we'll, Andre Chasing can still be there. Who knows?
It's a way away.
Yeah, it's a long time away. So Deadline's the next one on December 9th. And we'll see how it goes. But that was NXT this week. We hope you enjoyed us talking all about it, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And check us out on Poisonrana. Search Poisonrana in your podcast app or YouTube. Hit that subscribe and check out all the other shows that we do. We will be going live on Sunday chatting all about AEW is it Full Gear? Yeah, it's Full Gear.
Yeah,
that's right. The November pay-per-view. I can't wait for tomorrow night, the end of
like a dragon rising, the man who must not be named.
Street fight.
Can't with the massive man.
The massive man. White. They can't say the big man or the big show, so it's the big
and
massive man.
The machine who can't stop pumping out babies. Brian Cage.
Yeah, he's just in that match.
Yeah,
for reasons.
New dad.
Can't wait. So look for us to chat all about some AEW on Sunday, and check out all the other stuff we do. Poisonrana.ca for the links to all our podcasts, to our patreon.com/poisonrana. $5 to get access to like 500 plus shows. There's so many reviews and movie reviews, wrestling reviews. It's all in there, and it's only $5. And again, Toronto area people, Survivor Series, November 25th. Be there, and we can't wait to see you guys and hang out and watch some war games. So at Poisonrana Pod, Twitter, Instagram, and I myself, Braden Herrington, at the Bray D.
And you can find me at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And this doesn't.
Oh, and happy poop week, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.